Hi everyone and welcome to the 10%. I am Israel Luna, and before we start the show, I am going to introduce our panel for this show.
My name is Albert Lujan. I'm a corporate relocation consultant during the day. And other than that, I guess you could say I'm somewhat of a safe sex advocate.
Very good.
I'm Travis Boir. I'm a strategic marketing professional here in Dallas and a card-carrying member of the Long Now Foundation, which looks at the next 10,000 years of sustainable human existence.
And I'm Jenna Skye. I'm a local entertainer here in Dallas. And by day, I'm Joe. I'm a admissions coordinator for the Performing and Visual Arts at SMU. And I'm a sex advocate. Alrighty.
Well, okay, so I have to say, I was watching TV this morning, and I saw something that sort of kind of creeped me out. I saw the video for New Kids on the Block with their new song and their new CD and everything.
Wait, I thought that there was like a marketing rule somewhere that new can only be used for 6 months and wait 60 years now.
Well, the creepiest part to me is now they're pushing 40, which there's nothing wrong with 40, but they're catering to these junior high and high school girls. And my friend Jeremy said it best. He saw one of them on the beach, with his shirt open, and he said, "Oh, that looks like some guy that would hit on me," and I would be like, "Oh my God, I want nothing to do with him because he's an old pervert."
So they shouldn't be called New Kids on the Blocks. It should be
middle-aged kids on the block.
Comeback geriatrics.
They should be called Ben Around the Block.
Oh, that's a good one. But I thought
I thought that was Backstreet Boys.
That's Bareback Boys.
Backstreet Boys.
Oh my God. Lord, the sign of things to come on this show. But I thought that one of these guys was like on Oprah one time talking about how it was horrible for him and he had this phobia where he couldn't be in front of crowds and it was so touching. Do y'all remember that at all? It was Jordan's brother or something. So I'm thinking, okay, now we felt sorry for him. He can't be in front of crowds, but now he's doing it all over
I
again.
feel sorry for him because he's known as Jordan's brother.
That's reason enough.
I feel sorry for him because that's all he can do, apparently. Yeah. So that's why they're having to come back. They ran out of money, apparently.
I think when the show's over, or when the gig was over, that was their next gig, was talking about the horrible things, because that's what got him in the media, got him on Oprah, apparently. And then now that something positive, it's coming full circle again, and they get, the second chance in the spotlight. Well, of course, they're going to forget how tragic it was, because now it's not tragic anymore because it's feeding their kids.
Well, and now it's reminiscent because all of the people who used to listen to them, oh, it's New Kids on the Block. Oh, I'll remember those days in junior high. It was great,
I try to forget that.
Well, me too. Because now they're considered pretty cheesy. So do we still have an interest in seeing what they're doing and their music?
Well, look what we're comparing it to. We've got the Britney Spears of the world, and just everything is commercialized and marketed, and everything is fabricated. What are you going to do? I think it's just the next thing that's just a repeat of what we already have going on.
Absolutely.
I say been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? I feel that way with radio in general. I haven't listened to the radio in, 5-6 years because I feel that it's the same 15 or 20 songs played over and over again. And there's so much great music out there, new music, that these little youngins, I'm starting to sound old now, have no clue about. So, is FM the next AM,
Well, absolutely. You've got XM, you've got iTunes, you've got streaming audio on the internet. It's really easy for somebody to self-serve their music. And, we have this in all of the media. You have people who are increasingly isolated because they only see this narrow vision of their world that they choose to see. Because it's not like the only information that you get is through 3 different channels that come free over the airwaves. You can take your pick and choose the information that you want to see. So in a large part, the information revolution has caused an information isolation for a lot of people who don't actually take the initiative and go out there and learn about their world.
Well, because I've talked to a few people, excuse me, or I'm going to dinner with someone and in their car they're playing, and I'm always curious to know, hey, what are you listening to? What's in your car? And I get so many Britney Spears or Rihanna or Coldplay. Those are the main 3. And I'm thinking, is that all you know? Don't you know about any of this other music? Even what I do, like watching VH1 in the mornings, because they actually still do play music and they play it for hours on end. They have all this new music that, like Adele, if you heard of Adele, and of course the Ting Tings, they're becoming a little more popular now, but these kids are like, I don't know who they are.
I don't know who they are.
I think MySpace.
Really?
Who do you listen to?
I don't. I actually just listen to the people that I find on iTunes. So if there's a nice recommendation of a band on there, I'll take a listen.
Recommendation by?
It will take a look at, it's kind of like Netflix, where it takes a look at your previous purchases and then I guess suggests one.
Oh, okay.
So like, for instance, I didn't know about the band Travis, and it actually caught my eye because that's my first name, and I was like, oh, well, I'll take a listen.
That's my kind of logic.
It's the gay logic, what can you say?
Right. Well, that's good. And you mentioned...
Well, I was talking about like MySpace, for example. Up until recently, now they're getting all these mainstream bands to allow their music and the rights to just, everyone can list popular music and the top 40 music, which I think is easy for us to do because someone tells us what we're supposed to like, because promoters and production companies have invested all this money, so this is what you're supposed to like. Before, though, MySpace was doing really good stuff with independent music, where that was what was getting released on MySpace. And when you searched for music on MySpace, it was these new bands, and all of a sudden the new bands, the independent groups that didn't have billions of dollars supporting them, were really getting some notoriety and some recognition, and were really becoming something. And I feel like that medium now is gone for them because MySpace has opened up to the top 40.
But you still have that viral effect, like Caswell is one of the the gay artists that's up and coming, I think, in the gay community, and I actually found out about him from somebody emailing me a link to his video on his website. And I was like, wow, here's this white gay rapper in New York, doing his thing and really doing it well. And I would never have found that if it weren't for sites like this.
Why was it?
Yeah, you're not a fan of Caswell?
Well, no, I don't even know who he is. But I'm trying to picture the lyrics. They're rhyming with my belt matches my shoes and.
Listen to me, it's all over your face. There's some good rhymes.
Is it good? Is it good? Do you own it?
I do, actually, yeah.
And it's good?
I think so.
Is it like in your face gay?
Well, it's kind of like Eminem, if Eminem would admit that he's gay.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Well, man. Well, speaking of this generation going on and, just listening to this type of story, I have this little thing that happened to me, and I would love to get your opinion on it. It goes to text messaging. I was actually broken up with through a text message.
Oh, that is classic.
Yeah, and I know everyone's text messaging. I text message, but I feel that there are certain times that you should text message and certain times that is totally not appropriate.
All right, I have to ask the question, though. How old was this gentleman that broke up with you?
Oh, my God.
Because if he's doing it over text message, my guess is going to be he's pretty young.
Right, well, we will get right to that. They're telling me that we need to break, and we will
Lucky
be right
break.
back because
That looks innocent enough, doesn't it? Lots of young people hitchhike. Seems like a good way to get from one place to another. But sometimes there are dangers involved that never meet the eye. So no matter where you meet a stranger, be careful if they are too friendly. One never knows when the homosexual is about. Let's take the case of Jimmy Barnes. Jimmy played baseball all afternoon, and he didn't feel like walking home, so he decided to thumb a ride. He'd done it 100 times before, and he didn't think anything was unusual when the driver struck up a friendly conversation. In fact, he seemed like a real nice guy. What Jimmy didn't know was that Ralph was sick, a sickness that was not visible like smallpox, but no less dangerous and contagious, a sickness of the mind. You see, Ralph was a homosexual, a person who demands an intimate relationship with members of their own sex. So no matter where you meet a stranger, be careful if they are too friendly, if they try to win your confidence too quickly, and if they become overly personal. One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal.
Okay, guys, thanks for coming back and watching the 10%, expressing our point of view. I have to finish my story here.
Please do.
He was actually not a young one. He was, I think he's in his early 30s. And what it was he had invited me to go to Austin with him, but he wanted me to go and do the circuit party thing and do drugs with him and all that stuff. And I was like, It's not my thing. And he wanted me to do that. So because I wouldn't do all these drugs with him and go to the circuit parties, he broke up with me, which is fine. But if you want to call it breaking up, I mean, we just gone on a few dates. But he did it through text messages, and that's what really irked me.
Well, I think that's definitive of your entire relationship with the boy. If he breaks up with you through a text message.
Exactly. It was a blessing.
Yeah.
It was a blessing.
There's some things that should not be done via text message or email, and breaking up with somebody is one of those. And unfortunately, some people just haven't learned that lesson yet.
Well, text messages are like the answer machine of the 90s. When they would talk about Bray, he broke up with me on the answer machine. Kelly Likes Shoes is an independent artist that has a song called Text Message Breakup.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to download that.
And I got that from MySpace beforehand.
I think if you have just a quick message to send somebody, like, I'm on my way, I'm running 5 minutes late, I think that's, for me anyway, I think that's when text messaging is appropriate. But
I want you to move out.
I cannot stand trying to have an entire conversation with somebody.
Yes. Those long novels that they
I can't. First of all, it just takes me forever, and so I end up giving very short answers, and I feel like I'm being rude by giving such short answers. I'm like, if we need to have a conversation, just go ahead and call me.
Thank you.
It's that's just my opinion about text messaging.
I type 90 words a minute, and when you put me on a 9 keypad with my thumbs, thank God for opposable thumbs, but yeah, I need all 10 of my fingers to type what I need to say because I got a lot to say in a short amount of time, and I only got 126 characters on my text message. And it's going to take me 30 minutes because it's like D-E-F.
And then you misspell it.
Yeah. It's hard typing break up. There's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm all for text messaging because I know there are some friends of mine that I know if I call them,
they're not going to answer.
Or they're going to want to talk for at least 10, 15 minutes.
Right.
And all I want to tell them is, I'm on my way to the restaurant. On my way there. Be there in 5.
Now, how many of those people, when you text them, I'll be there in 5, you get the phone ringing right after that because they know that you're available enough to text, so they're going to call you. I mean, those are like text stalkers. It's like you almost don't want to send them a text because you're like, oh, maybe I have to end this with, okay, but I'm going into dinner right now, so please don't call me,
I don't find it a big deal to text somebody, and then when they start calling me, I'm like, oh, I'll just make up a story. I was in the shower.
And what about the people who count the rings? I mean, what is this?
You know someone that counts the rings?
Absolutely. Okay, like on most cell phone providers, I think, I haven't figured it out yet, what the whole scheme is, but if the phone is ringing and you hit, no, I don't want to answer or ignore or whatever it says on your phone, apparently they get a different ringtone.
You have to be careful because sometimes...
You're kidding!
No, because sometimes if you hit ignore, sometimes it's the phone, it's not the carrier. I've learned this. If you hit ignore, sometimes it sends it straight to voicemail. So if it rings once, you're like, oh, quit ringing because you're in class or you're at work. Sometimes that's okay. But there are those people that if it goes straight to voicemail, you ignored their phone call. And they know it.
Maybe that's what your text breakup did. He counted the rings and he was like, I counted the rings and I know what time it is.
You know what? I'm
breaking
glad
up with
he's
him
gone.
via text.
Glad he's gone.
It sounds like good riddance.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Oh, okay, so we're done with that. So let's move on. So last month was Gay Pride weekend here in Dallas, which was a big parade and then all kinds of festivities going on, lots of parties. Well, it seems like, Albert, you didn't have such a great time all of a sudden. What happened?
I had a great time, and I was having a great time, and then I just had one of those moments that happened. I was...
Tell us about
it. The part of the festivities that I enjoy the most are the dance parties, and so, my whole weekend is focused around that. And so, like, Sunday night was going to be my big night out because Saturday I was kind of tired. I wasn't really into it, so really looking forward to Sunday. So I go and, I know a lot of people there, so I don't necessarily feel like I have to find somebody to dance with. And that's what's fun about these parties. If you want to dance, you just go out there and dance. Doesn't matter if you're dancing with somebody else or not. And so I was just out there dancing, and then I heard this song come on, and the lyrics were, the only way to do it is to do it naturally. And so I was just kind of dancing, kind of listening to it, and then it hit me. I was like, oh my gosh, is this a song about bareback sex? During the tea dance of a pride celebration?
Wait. What is bareback sex? I'm confused.
Sex without
a condom.
Oh.
And so,
sex with a horse.
Sex with a horse. And no saddle.
Yeah, no saddle.
And so I was... At first I was just like, well, that's really kind of rude. and then I just kind of got a little agitated about it, and then I decided I'm just not going to dance to the song. I'm going to get off the dance floor. So I get off the dance floor, and that was really my only intention, was to just get off the dance floor, because it was a total buzzkill for me, being the safer sex advocate that I am. And because of that background of mine, I thought, well, maybe it's just me, because of that background that I have, that's taking it that way.
Okay.
I think I'll go ask the DJ. So I make my way to the DJ booth, and I walk in there, and the door's wide open, and I just flat out say it. I'm like, "Is this a song about barebacking?" And he said, "Oh, well, it could be, if that's what you want it to be about. It can be about anything you want it to be," and that is true. It took me a few more days to think about what else it might could be about, but he did flip the switch, and the song was off. And so that just got me to thinking. It's bad enough that barebacking videos exist, and the messages that puts out to our community, especially our young men coming through the ranks that maybe haven't been getting the message through other ways about be sure to use a condom during sex, be sure to be prepared for it. It's bad enough that that's out there, but do we really have to hear messages about bareback sex during a tea dance, during a circuit party? And what was specifically, or more annoying for me anyway, is that it was a party put on by the guys at Dallas Purple Party, which is a great party that happens in the spring. And their main beneficiary is the AIDS Resource Center. So I thought it was extremely tacky that there was a song, lyrics about bareback sex during that party. And I've never been one to advocate censorship. I know that artists don't like to be told what they can and cannot do, and they certainly should have that freedom. But you should really just have a lot more better sense about...
Well, but how do we know that it's doing it naturally? What is it?
Well, and even
it could
if
be interpreted anyway.
Even if it is, bareback sex or just sex, basically, I guess without condoms. I mean, I think it's sad that in the gay community we have to qualify our sex with whether it's condom or condomless. And the thing is that too often I think our young children who are growing up and they're figuring out whether they're gay or not, it's put to them as gay sex is unnatural, it's dirty, it's bad, it's all these things, and it should never be done without a condom. Well, that's not exactly the greatest message, I think. I mean, yes, you should be safe, you should be responsible, but if you look at sex in a healthy term and say that, yes, this is a beautiful, natural thing, and if you're in a committed relationship with somebody and you choose to have sex without condoms and, experience sex naturally, which I think that's probably what the song was about, I think that's really beautiful, and that we shouldn't be. I
think it's very scary and very risky.
I'm kind of with you because
I'm not taking anything away from sex. I happen to think that sex is wonderful, and I think sex should happen very often. However, I think you should follow the Boy Scout motto of "Be prepared."
It's true. Now, how many of those people?
I think it was they took the words from a song called "Do It Properly," which that would make sense. Sure,
it would. And we could be Nancy Reagan and just say no, too. But, let's really think about the guys who are at these types of circuit parties. They're not really that concerned about having now there are condoms and bowls everywhere, at these types of events.
What's going up the nose.
And we still know that HIV, the rates of spreading as far as at those events are astronomical. And we have to ask ourselves, is this strategy
it's not just at those events, strategy? It's in our community.
Hold on, it is in the community, but what our community has been left behind with is all of the different ways that you can prevent HIV. Yes, condoms is one of the best and absolute tried and true ways to prevent HIV, but one of the things that is not widely known in the gay community is that healthcare professionals, like when they encounter a blood with an open wound of somebody who might be HIV positive, or a needle, they get stuck by it that they don't know who it came from, they put them on the HIV meds as a preventative medication, as a preventative measure. And I have a couple who they've been together for probably 15 years. They don't use condoms at all. One's HIV positive, one's not. One's on medication, the other one's not, and the one who's HIV negative has remained HIV negative throughout their relationship. And to me, I'm just kind of I'm wondering, why are there not more studies about this for our community? Why are there not more educational messages about, look, if you're a club kid and you're going to be doing it naturally, use the condom, but maybe get on the HIV therapy as a way to help also prevent it. I think your heart's in the right place. I just think that there's a wider and a
But why
broader
go
message.
through all of that when all you have to do is use a condom?
Well, that's the thing. Why is HIV still spreading in our community? Because the condom strategy is not 100% effective.
Well, I don't think it's
especially
the
I don't
condom
think
strategy.
it's that. I don't think the message is getting out there, and I
Yes.
think the message of that saying that bareback sex is hot sex is what's beating out safe sex is hot sex.
Well, could you ever compete with it? I mean, really, if you ask any straight person,
But that
I
doesn't mean we should just throw in the towel and just give up on it
absolutely
either.
not. Absolutely.
Because the statistics show that at least half of all new infections of HIV are among people under the age of 25. So
Absolutely.
somewhere they're not getting the message. I don't
Maybe
know.
it's not that
if
they're not
it's-
getting the message. Maybe they're not paying attention to the message.
You know, it's
because
true.
You have to
Well-
be an activist. You have to seek out that knowledge. I chose to seek out that knowledge at an early age, and through experiences, I will never have unprotected sex, relationship or not. To me, intimacy and sex, and this is probably going to be something I talk about later. I don't need sex without a condom to prove love.
Sure.
I've seen way too many committed relationships that end up with one or both partners being positive because one or both were not honest with each other. And so
happens.
this I don't think is something that we're being victims to, and the people that ultimately end up being HIV positive, it's not something that happened to them, it's something that they let happen.
Right.
It's,
And
they are not
I
victims.
think if I mean we've known for over 20 years now how to prevent getting HIV, and I think if everybody made the right choices, stayed sober, and played safely, it would be down to a rarity rather than the norm. And
Well,
I
it
don't
would
think
be a perfect world.
And I don't think a young gay man should feel like becoming HIV positive is a rite of passage, like that's just part of being gay, because it doesn't have to be.
It shouldn't
Right,
be associated
and
at all.
in the larger culture, I mean, what was it, a recent South Park? Maybe it was even last year, where they were talking about HIV's kind of like the '90s disease, and it's just out of fashion and stuff like that. And you have to ask yourself why. And I talked to some of my straight friends, and they're single, they're having sex, and like, you use condoms? They're like, no. I mean, it's almost like what you heard in probably the 80s or 70s before the HIV epidemic happened was, it's like, I'm not wearing a raincoat when it's not raining or something
Right.
like this. And I think it's sad that we don't give our young people the full information, because they're getting two messages. They're getting one from the gay community, which is very Nancy Reagan in this era, which is always use condoms or don't have sex. Just say no or just wrap it up. And there's a larger message that they have to be informed with to combat the other messages that they're getting from society at large, which is that, straight people, gay people who are living with HIV, you see them all around, they're living, it's not a death sentence. And so these young people get that message and they're feeling, oh, well, this is like herpes or something. And
It's not a death sentence anymore, but it's still
I don't
extremely
mean
high
to cut you off,
maintenance.
but we need to go to break, and we will continue this conversation. Stay tuned.
No one in my family is even sitting together. You have my parents at table 4 and my sisters at table 9. And I'm not putting my cousin George and his wife Wendy, who are coming all the way from Scotland for the wedding, at table 23. People they haven't even met.
You know what's wrong with gay marriages?
Fine. Fine. Put them wherever you want to.
The same things that are wrong with straight ones. Support same-sex marriage.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 10%. We are talking about circuit parties and this song called "Let's What
Do It Naturally."
Do It Naturally. So I have a question for you. Do you think that the crowd that night, where you were at the Brick and you were dancing and you heard the song, were you the only one that was offended by it? Do you think that that's sort of the song that at that moment they were wanting to hear?
It's hard to pull everyone else without taking.
You know, I asked another friend of mine. He goes, "I don't even remember that song." So I guess it's probably because of my background of safe-sex advocacy that it just really hit me the wrong way. And but yeah, I think most of the guys probably didn't remember it. But you know, most of the guys at those parties, their minds are in altered states, and you know, what if they're absorbing these subliminal messages that they don't need to be absorbing?
Exactly. And going back to the guy that text messaged me and wanted me to go with him to do the circuit party thing, that's what he was going for. He was going to have lots of sex, to do lots of drugs, and listen to music like that. So,
right. And how many of those people in altered states are in enough as a state of mind to be like, oh yeah, it's all hot in a foam party or whatever it is. Oh, wait, let's get the condom. And this is why I'm saying that, these people should be on
remember
a therapy.
To get the condom.
Well, I'm sure you do. And don't get me wrong.
Even
I think
in an altered state.
You're
not so altered that everything goes out the window.
Well, I'm not saying that you would be. But and don't get me wrong. I think that preventative, condoms are a very important part of the strategy. But it is one prong of the strategy I think that we need to evolve.
It's the most effective prevention method that we have. And if you read about the reasons for the increases in the HIV or new HIV infections, or the reasons why it continues to grow, is one of the reasons is that people are tired of hearing the message. It's apathy. It's like you can say it over and over and it just goes in one ear and out the other. It seems people are just tired of listening to it. So I think the challenge is to say it in a new way where it will be heard.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with you. Condoms should definitely be used. If you're out there, you're having sex, get tested. That's another important thing. And two, if you're a club kid and you think that you might be experimenting with bareback sex, go to your doctor first and ask them about what the possibilities are for preventative use of the HIV therapies. And this is probably the three-pronged strategy that I would advocate for, like if it were my cousin or a good friend of mine. But, condoms definitely have to be used.
And
I agree with you.
Along with that, advocate having a gay doctor, because I have a gay doctor and I love it. I can talk to him about anything. I think you need to have a doctor that you can feel free to speak about any issues whatsoever. And I was like in my mid-30s when I first started experimenting with circuit parties and all that stuff. And I'm a health conscious guy, so I wanted to check with my doctor about that versus as well.
Good job.
And what he told me about drugs is it's not necessarily what the drugs do to your body that's going to get you, it's what you do while you're on drugs.
Exactly.
And so even more of a reason to have that core value of always remembering to bring the condom out when it comes to sex.
Absolutely. And if everybody could remember that, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now.
Yep,
we also need to realize that just because you're getting tested and you come back negative,
there's still that 3-month window.
Right, and that doesn't mean that just because you're negative that you're entitled to unprotected sex.
Exactly.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything. There are a slew of other things.
There's a slew of other things.
When you are positive too, that it's not the HIV that kills you, it's the other things that you get.
Well,
that could kill you. So you have to be aware of things like that. So it's, I don't really think there's ever a time, unless you really know everything about the HIV and everything about contracting HIV. These couples that you were saying, one's positive, one's not. They've obviously done
highly educated.
They've done their research and they're knowledgeable
the
beyond the condom. And I think we tend to stop at the condom. I did for a number of years that the condom ends it for me, and that's all I need. That's not.
It's not. You're right, and it also doesn't end for other sexually transmitted diseases like herpes and HPV, which we know causes cancer, and all of these other things. And so it really is a message that we can't be telling our kids. It's like HIV, you've got to wear a condom or you're gonna die. You know, it's
That's what they believe.
Well, that's what some of them believe, but then we lose our credibility when they go out in the rest of the world and they see, you know, the ads for the HIV drugs and the magazines and stuff like this, live a healthier, longer life, you know, and then when, you know, the doctors may tell them, okay, you're getting an AIDS test, I know you're freaking out, but don't worry, it's not a death sentence anymore. I know people have been told this, you know, that it's not a death sentence, and, you know, while I don't think anybody wants it, it has changed a little bit with the therapy.
It's still extremely high maintenance, and the drugs
absolutely.
are very expensive. And if you don't have insurance and you contract HIV, good luck getting insurance down the road.
Exactly.